Okay, so when you are multiplying a polynomial, meanings many terms, by a monomial, meanings by one terms, what would you do? Okay, so it involves the distributive property. Okay, it goes back to the exponential rules. Okay, when you multiply by the same base, you're adding the exponents. Okay, for examples, okay, you are simplifying or the products. Okay, so it's given to you that I have 3x times x plus 4. Okay, you can also think as x plus 4 multiply by 3x. You can certainly think it that way if you like to. Okay, so here, when you're using a distributive property, okay, remember you are multiply everything inside the parenthesis. So what you will have is 3x times x. The signs still stay the same. The operations will stay the same. In this case, it is a plus 3x times 4. Okay, now you will multiply. As I said earlier, if you are multiply and it is the same base, the only thing you do is you're adding the exponents. In this case, it's x to the first and x to the first. So you should have x to the second. Okay, and 3 times 1 will give you 3x squared. Over here, the 4 does not come with the x, so that's okay. So x in this case is by itself, and the 3 times the 4 does make it a 12. Okay, as I said from the previous lessons, that you can combine like terms. In this case, the x and the x squared, well, technically they having the same x, but the exponents is different. So we cannot combine that, okay? In this case, for me to name this kind of polynomial, it is a quadratic binomial, okay? Binomial means two terms, okay? Also, I have here on the other side, if you like, you can multiply it this way, okay? Okay, so here, if in the yellow, I should have the 12x, okay? In the green, it's going to be 3x squared. Same process, okay? Let's try the second problem. I have the b, 1b, so x, 2x minus 3. Here I have 2x minus 3 times x. Okay, again, the distributive property. Okay, I should have x times 2x. The subtraction still there. X times 3. Okay, here I should have 2x squared minus 3x. Remember that coefficients is always go in front of variables. Okay, so I have over here, I have in yellow, that should give me negative 3x, and then I have it in green, that should give me 2x squared. Okay, does not matter which method you are using, you should have exactly the same answer. Okay, now what happens if we have a trinomials and a monomial? Okay, you are doing exactly the same thing. Hold on. You are doing exactly this same thing as, let's see, I have number 2. And then you're still solving, simplifying the product. So you have a binomial. You are multiplied by a trinomial. In this case, a trinomial is considered a polynomial. Okay, I still want to do this way. Okay, it's going to be x times x squared plus x times 2x plus x times 4. Okay, again, x times x squared meaning x to the first, so that should give me x to the third. X times x is x squared. 2 times 1 is 2. 4 times x is 4x. In this case, it is x to the third, x to the second, x to the first. They are not like terms, so that is simplified version. So if I were to name this, it is going to be cubic trinomial. Okay, again, if I were to multiply this, I multiply it this way, that should give me 4x. I'm going to take the green. So that should give me 2x squared. And then let me take the pink. Oh. So that should give me x to the third. Okay, now let's try 2b. Okay, on 2b, I'm only going to use the distributive property. You can try practicing on the other multiplication if you choose to. Okay, so I should have 2a squared times 2a to the third minus 2a squared times 3a squared plus 2a squared times 3. Okay, now I am going to multiply them together. I should have 4a to the fifth minus 6a to the fourth plus 6a squared. Okay, so in this case, in order for me to name this, so it should be, so I look at the highest degree of polynomial. In this case, the highest one is the 5th degree. I just call it a 5th degree trinomial. Okay. Okay, what happens if they have the product already? If you want to factor things back out, okay, meaning you go backwards to it. Earlier you were doing a multiplication. Now you are factoring out. Technically, you can think of a division, okay? You are going to factor using the GCF. Meaning the greatest number that the two or three numbers have in common, okay, of the two factors. So I'm going to look at 2x squared, and it is factoring, okay? Now you have to think back of the factor tree, okay? Since the number of coefficients on the first terms is a 2, the second terms is a 1, okay, so they only have 1 in common, okay? I don't have to worry about anything else. Okay, so now I look at the x. Okay, so I look at this and hey, they have x in common, or they have one x in common. So what I would do is take it out. This is what I call GCF. Okay, so the GCF in this case is x. Okay, so I'm going to take it out, the parenthesis. Okay, from the 2x squared, I took x out already. I should have a 2. Okay, and then I have another x. The sign stays the same. From the 1x, I took the x out already. So what's left is a 1. Okay, so what you're going to have is the outside is always something they have in common. This one inside is what's left, meaning you divided by x on both terms. So now what is left? Okay, this is the, I'm going to say what's left. Okay, you are doing that by think of divisions. You are going to see that in Algebra 1. Okay, so let's look at the B sections. They said now I have 2b to the third plus 6b squared minus 12b. Okay, so now I want to look at the coefficient first. Okay, from here is only 2 and a 1, and the 6 is 2 and a 3. Okay, and then here I have a 2 and a 6, and a 2 and a 3. Okay, and on the b to the third, if you get used to the factoring, if you're factoring, you always, the GCF is always the lowest exponent. Okay, in this case, it is the b. Let's find out why. Okay, so b, in this case, is my GCF right there. So here I have b and have b and have another b. Here I have b and then I have a b. Here I have a b. Okay, so now let's find out what is their GCF. So I should have a 2, and a 2. Okay, and then here the b is in common, the b is in common, the b is in common. Okay, so my GCF at this point is a 2, and then that's the b. Okay, the rest of them, it goes back to inside the parentheses. So I'm taking 2b out. There are 3 terms. One of them is going to be plus. The other one is going to be a negative. Okay, so what's left? You took the 2 out. You still have a 1, and then you have a 2b. So it's 1b squared. Okay, the second terms, you take the 2b out. What's left? It is the 3 and the b. So it's going to be 3b. Okay, on the last one is you took the 2 out, but you still have 6 left. So it's be a 6. You took 1b out, and that's done with. Okay, so your GCF is here, and this is not a GCF. I'm going to say what's left again, or the remaining. Okay,